Hello, this is David Hollis. Tonight I'm going to bring you an exclusive interview with an elder in the Cherokee Apache Nation who had an encounter in Hawaii with the Manahui, the little people of Hawaii. And we're just going to jump right into it. I bring you Arthur Durone.
You know, like you own it. You gotta have a little reverence, you know. And I was just running muck over there. Not really minding muck. I was just, you know, dragging my stuff along with me. But I was looking for mushrooms and other psilocybins that are on the island, up on the north shore.
Yeah.
Up Honolulu Bay, it's up on the other side. Honolulu Bay is at the top of the north end of the island, and then you've got like off to the left, down below you've got Princeville, and then off to the left you've got the Nepali coast, and it's like a 15 mile.
And this is on the Big Island?
No, that's in Kauai.
Oh, Kauai.
You know, you go up there by where the well, it starts over there where it's like a little cove. I can't think of it. It's a grotto. It's a ceremonial grotto where they like a where is that? It's like a wedding grotto for people to get married and stuff, you know. Yeah. And back in the ancient days, you gotta go swim down underneath and come up in this grotto, and then you got. But anyways, the gardens, the trail through the jungle starts right there, and. I was just going through that jungle. Let's see. I mean, I'd taken my kayak.
Were you going to rappel down a cliff?
Actually, when I was going there was to go kick it with the humpback whales, because that's the that's the last feeding grounds, you know, that they go to before they go to the Aleutians up in Alaska. You know, it's the last place they eat. They go to Maui before they come up from Mexico. They go to Maui and stuff, feed off there, and then just before they go to go around the north, and that's the northernmost island other than Ni'ihau, and it's the only one that King Kamehameha didn't conquer. It's like 140 miles across that, but it's so turbulent. It's just.
All right, So
anyways, it's the only island that King Kamehameha never, you know, but that passageway through between the two islands, what is it, Oahu and Kauai is so rich, you know, so rich with nutrients, I guess, actually with fish and plant life and shit, you know, fish and stuff and krill, that's the last place they feed before they go to Alaska. So anyways, I'm going there to go check out the humpback whales, you know, and I'm taking my kayak, and the only way to get down is to rappel down, which is down, you know, the walls of and the cliffs are like 300 feet, and I had like 350 feet of static line, and I lowered down my kayak, and then I tied off and I belayed myself down to down to the beach, and I rode my kayak down there and stayed there for a couple of weeks while they fed before they split up to the Aleutian Islands. And
was that where you built the fire and had your encounter?
No, actually, that was the first night when I was there. I was hiking through there, and I'd taken all my gear, and actually I put it inside the kayak. I was dragging the kayak from behind myself, and it's 14 miles, but it took me almost 3 days to get there. But the first night I was there, it's like pitch black. It's a new moon, and it's pitch black, and so it's like not a place where you normally build a fire, but it's like. So I built a fire, but we don't build fire. The way we build fires is not like on top of the ground. We dig a little, like, I don't know, dig a little post almost.
Like a fire pit.
Almost, but deeper. You know what I'm saying? And we build our fire there so that you can stand almost on top of it and stay warm.
Right.
You can't see it from far off. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't give off much light, you know, much light around you. But, you know, it's a safe fire, and it's like, you know, nobody's going to see it really from far off and stuff. And anyways, it keeps it contained so it doesn't get, you know. So
it wasn't giving off a lot of light either, huh?
Not like a normal. So it doesn't give off a lot of light. It gives off enough, but, you know, you're not going to see, you know, 30 yards away.
So you're sitting there around this fire the first night, and you haven't rappelled down yet?
No. We have got, you know, a lot more miles to go through the jungle. But actually, what it was, I stopped, you know, and I was kicking back and had the fire going. I was smoking a joint, just like I am now, and had it in my hand. It was lit, and I had a bottle of Jack in my other hand. And it was weird because I'm taking a hit off it, and I look across the fire, and there's this little guy there, and he's about 3.5 feet tall, perfectly proportioned, got a spear in his hand. He's just looking at me, and he was dressed like you would expect a Polynesian.
All right, so
anyways,
this perfectly proportioned
little Polynesian guy, you know, he looks just like he would, you know, the ones you see out of the, you know, movies.
And he had on like a skirt, like a reed skirt?
No. Actually, I guess you would call it a bodice, or that, you know, that they, you know, like for your, you know, your genitals and stuff, but it's like not a skirt. And by any means, it's more like.
All right, so.
More like a woven jockstrap, okay?
So it looked like a warrior, like a Polynesian warrior?
Precisely, with a spear. And, you know, and it's like proportioned to him. Yes, it's about 5 feet tall, but it's proportioned for that little guy, you know, as a long spear, and, you know, to work, you know, like a pike almost. And it was, I looked at him, and I kind of just froze, because everybody hears stories of the Menehune, you know, the little people. And, you know, I mean, every culture, every race has stories of their little people. I mean, it's got to be, it's got to stem from something.
Right.
So, you know, it's like, I'm looking across, and I've seen some pretty strange things, you know, in my life, and I'm looking across at it, and all I can think of is him and that spear, and is there anybody else? And that I've got a 357 sitting in my backpack. And it's funny because guns aren't allowed in Hawaii. They're illegal. But anyways, that being said, I had a 357. It was weird because as soon as I thought about that 357, about grabbing it, you know, and it was his whole posture changed, like he was reading my mind.
Wow.
And it's like all of a sudden it was just like his posture changed, and he was standing, how can I say, that spear had come up, you know what I mean?
Right.
It was like, and all of a sudden it sounded like, I mean, I hear it coming from all directions around me, like surrounding me. Sounds like rats. I mean, but things rustling through the ground, like rushing at me.
Wow.
From all directions. And
did he point the spear at you?
He had it up like this, you know. And it's
oh,
like I'm
my.
just looking at him, and as I'm thinking about this, going for this, you know, gun, it's like.
I bet you shifted gears quick, didn't you?
Yeah, well, actually, I tried to stop thinking about that gun and start just thinking good thoughts, and thinking just like, you know, just mellow, and trying to empty your head. And it was weird because I'm hearing I heard what sounded like rats, but I imagine it was feet of things rustling up from out in the distance. And it just found, you don't have to, all I gotta say, you can feel eyes on you and not have to see them.
Well, you heard it.
I heard it rustling up from all directions, but I didn't hear anything. I didn't see anything. All I saw was that little guy, and he was pointing that spear at me, looking at me and kind of funny, and all I could think of was think sweet thoughts, think sweet thoughts, and actually, I didn't have anything. I didn't know what to do, so I took it. I was standing there, and I took a hit off the joint. While I was taking a hit off the joint, I just looked at him and said, "You want to get high?" And I went to hand him the joint across the fire, and had the bottle of Jack in my other hand, and he looked at me, and then all of a sudden, he just stared at me, and then it was like somebody threw a rock behind me or something, or it felt like somebody was coming up behind me, because I turned around to check, to see if there was somebody behind me, and there was nothing there. And I turned immediately back around, and that little guy was gone.
Wow.
I mean, gone. I mean, couldn't, just vanished.
Now, I want to show them my capture.
And then I ran out, and then it was.
Okay.
But it's like, just as fast as they had come there and rushed up on me, I could hear them scattering away.
Wow.
Like running.
It's almost like they were one mind. And they're reading your mind, too.
It's like they all can read the same mind.
Right.
It's like they speak telepathically. They don't speak necessarily by mouth.
That's right.
Communicate with me.
I don't have that many.
But I had no doubt what they meant and what was going on.
Right.
And it was just, I guess, they've been known to do great things, like build things overnight, incredible things like the Kamehameha fish pond, and just different things, incredible feats, of architecture and construction. And
all right, so
anyways, they do these great feats overnight, but they've been known to read. It's like they read your heart, they read your mind, your intent.
Well, I think you.
And if they don't find you your heart good enough, or find that there's that any kind of redeeming qualities in you, then they'll tear you apart.
Yeah.
And
well, I think you did the right thing. You showed them some respect.
They let me go, and I ended up going down, rappelling down, the cliffs, and spent 2 weeks with the humpback whales, which was probably one of the greatest.
Well, let me ask you. I was comparing this little person capture to your sighting and encounter, and you definitely said you can see this guy here.
Yeah, I can see him right there. But you know what? But the
proportions are different.
Hell yeah, man. Mine didn't look like a little gnome, man.
Exactly. That guy looks like a gnome. Or
mine looks like,
his head is huge.
It's not, he proportionate.
Yours was just like a regular person.
It's as if I took off my shirt and pulled up a spear.
Right.
The proportion of the body would be, he'd look just like a man, like a midget, like back in the day they had midgets, not dwarves,
Right.
They're perfectly proportioned, just tiny. And he must have only he was like 3 feet, 3.5 feet, maybe, about chest high, maybe.
Well, look, I appreciate you telling us this.
But I was cool, because afterwards it was like the rest of the trip went really smooth, and I mean I rappelled down the cliffs and I saw
I think they were just checking you out.
And it's like the humpback whales, they were just checking me out.
Yeah.
And their eyes are just, tell you, it's very humbling, man. It's like to look into the eye of a humpback whale. It just look into it, and it's like it looks right through your soul. It's a very humbling experience, man. It makes you kind of weird, man. Almost made me ashamed to be a human being.
Well, thank you, Arthur, for sharing this with us.
Yeah, it's a trippy experience. Cool.
Yeah, thank you very much. And
you're welcome.
Yeah.